Xron, the man of mystery with a kitten for his mouse mat, will be facing off versus Raisy the Hellraiser. This should be a fairly fun matchup. And when I say fun, I'm talking a lot of exciting frags. I feel like if we're looking for highlights and aggression, both of these boys can provide that.
Absolutely. I mean, Raisy's got insane mechanical skill, wonderful aim, and just can pull out these crazy plays. But Xron is one of these people who experiment. You know, he's an inventor. He comes to Quake and he really, just like Raisy, takes the time to study the maps, to try and figure out new things to come up with. We've seen so many of these really funny plays where he put himself with a rocket jump all the way on a pillar on the very edge of Molten and just looked down at his opponent for 20 seconds and was just waiting, not doing anything, right? So we've seen a lot of wonderful moments come out of Xron, and there's always a good possibility that we'll see them in-game as well.
Yeah, we did see some outrageously cheeky plays as well from Raisy, especially in Poland. A lot of which were done against Kilson in quite a historic fashion. Obviously, there was the one on Molten where he literally sat on the edge of the map, outside the map, and tried to waste time until Kilson luckily saw he was there. Madness. If he's going to keep up those shenanigans, I am excited to see what level of Raisy comes straight back in, hot off the presses.
I mean, I think that when it comes to Raisy, he's a person that has very, very few lows, right? He consistently performs. On the other hand, though, last time he played against Xron during the Stage 2 online phase, I believe he actually lost to Xron for the first time during the Quake Pro League. And so it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Xron somehow has figured out a way to deal with Raisy's playstyle, his aggression, his little cheekiness. Raisy is by far the #1 Gauntlet player in the Quake Pro League. No one else really has the reflex of just whipping out the Gauntlet the way that he does.
Well, he was literally doing it on LAN as well. Even in games where he wasn't exactly leading by much, he'd just go, well, I'm just going to stab him.
He knows it does something to the opponent psychologically.
Oh, yeah.
And also, that's one of the things that he's going for, right? Trying to be a little cheeky, and it works. Very often it works.
It's so easy to break your opponent's mental, especially in an arena FPS like Quake. If you can just disrespect them whilst also still getting a leg up, it's the most frustrating feeling in the world. So obviously it makes sense why, if you're a player at his skill level, you want to be annoying when you can. Xron, on the other hand, this man likes to punish people, and hopefully we get to see a little bit of that coming out tonight. He is a big dog, but he's more of a fan of kittens.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest concern that some people might have is what Xron are we going to see today, right? Because he's one of the players who has got a really high skill ceiling, but also tends to be very inconsistent. We've seen him take maps of the very best players, like I just mentioned, against Awoken on LAN, as well as Raisy in Stage 2, but then he has a tendency of dropping these maps that he really shouldn't, so it's going to be interesting to see which Xron we're dealing with today.
Yeah, that is always a worry with players like that. Inconsistency can be such a key factor. Hopefully, that will be a non-issue today, and we'll see both of them competing at their tippy-toppest form. Obviously, the Veto might affect things there, and we'll get into that in a few minutes to try and see how that will potentially try and swing things. Let's have a look and see if that will actually swing the balance ever so slightly.
First map we're going to see played, and look at that. Instantly the clutch being banned against Raisy. We wondered earlier if it was going to be the same for other players like Vanguard, but it definitely already is true for Raisy. And on Bloodcovet we're going to see two lights again. Second time we're going to see that today. It will be Athena going up against Nyx, and that is an interesting matchup because Athena, she's got a ton of mobility and she can deny a lot of hourglasses that Nyx is very dependent on. Second map, Vale of Pnath, Xron is running the Ranger, a lot of mobility, going up against Raisy with the Galena. And Galena on Raisy, that's always the danger signs should be popping off in your head because he knows so many of these inventive, sneaky placements to get those totems stacked up.
Yeah, he is probably, I'd say, the best when it comes to just being so hard to read as Galena.
Yeah.
Probably the most innovative is the correct way to say it, right?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. So we're going to see that on the second map, and the third and final map will be Awoken, where we're going to see Xron play the Ison going up against Raisy's Strog.
Yeah. Now, that actually could be quite naughty. Raisy, again, is someone that I feel like was doing an awful lot of just being able to pepper spray with the Strog rather than just dive bombing in. We were seeing a lot more of the firepower coming through, obviously, from utilizing the actual gun on Strog rather than just smashing it into their faces, on Pika rather, which actually proved to be quite a massive talking piece throughout the LAN.
I definitely agree, and it's something that I think we should see more of
Yeah.
too, because Speaker so far, a lot of people feel that she's been underutilized a little bit, especially when you compare it to the Hang, the innovator who brought it to the scene in the first place. He really shows that there's so many ways to use that ability, more so than just instantly going for that 75 damage flying straight at your opponent, and so it's very good to see the meta evolve and see players take more advantage of that freedom of movement that the ability offers.
Yeah, it does offer a lot in terms of gameplay. So hopefully we see a little bit more out of it, as obviously the power of the Pika feels like there's still some more to really drag out of it the more we see it played. As in reality, it's not been that long that we've seen, obviously, the adjustments to Strog and it really come into prevalence across the board with everyone wanting to pick it.
I mean, that was one of the biggest issues that held Strog back towards the start. He was slow.
Yeah.
And when you can use the Peeker, sure, but when you don't have the speed to match it up, then, well, very often you're just left being a sitting duck. But now with the crouch slide, you've got so many more opportunities to just, slide out of the room, slide around the corner, and then before your opponents even know it, you're already out of sight, and out comes the Peeker instantly. So that crouch sliding has just added so much to a champion that was undervalued at the start, and now can really be considered top tier in the hands of certain players.
Oh, absolutely. He's S rank all the way. As long as you know how to play him correctly and utilize the Pika. Especially one of the things we're now seeing is the fact that Pika usage is pretty much happening whenever it's off of cooldown to maximize damage. We're seeing a lot more of that happening, whereas before it felt like it was more based on key intervals. I actually prefer the fact we're seeing more and more use of Pika. Obviously, if you can get it out, you might as well.
And we see it used as just like a scouting tool so much as well. Players who don't even know where their opponents are, but they're just confident that they're safe in the location that they're at. They're like, you know what, I'm going to send out the Peeker, just fly around a little bit. I'm not going to leave myself unguarded for more than a few seconds, but still just, taking a quick little fly around the map, and who knows what I'll find. Oh, my opponent's over there. Maybe I'll land a few points of damage as well, and I know exactly where he is. Maybe I can catch him picking up a major item or something, so I've got timing as well. So there's a lot of information to be gathered from that ability.
Yeah, exactly. It's a scouting tool. It's very, very effective. Obviously, that is coming up a little bit later, though. That'll be the third map in the series. For now, let's bring it on back to the basics. Xron the Handler will face off versus Raisy the Godslayer, our second place man, our runner-up from the most recent LAN event in Katowice, Poland at IEM. Now we'll see if he's able to do some damage here. Back online, facing off versus Xron.
Two lights, as we discussed. Athena going up against Nyx. Very interesting matchup. Not one that we're used to seeing, that's for sure. Both of these champions are pretty meta at this point, but definitely not in a matchup against each other. Raisy landing the opening rail. He's gonna go in for some damage. Doesn't land any. That final rocket will change his fortunes, but he's taken so much already. He's got to be careful. Hang on.
Ooh.
What a risky play from Raisy! He just drops down with 15 points of health. The moves on this man, that was amazing.
Lunatic. Absolute lunatic. I mean, it pays off for him, and it was the fact he even had the confidence to just stand the blood pool and try and force the spawn to get the follow-up frag onto stairs as well, which, be the fact that Xron spawned in, got a couple of shots off with the HMG, that could have been good night for Raisy. But we're into a good spot, and potentially a second frag could come out sooner rather than later, as Xron is already quite low. But Xron, he's confident with a rail, and he was able to snatch one as they both dove round. So he does punish. Oh, he's actually getting a bit of a lead going here as well, 2-1 already.
I mean, he got that perfect Rail of the Force spawn, instantly doing 90 damage to Raisy, who's left with just 30 points of health afterwards. And Xron then just, he rushes in wearing his beautiful snowman hat. He knows fashion, okay? LG coming out, Raisy really low. He's gonna pop the ability. Just trying to play a little bit of an evasive game right now. Heavy up in 10 seconds. Raisy, I don't think wants to stay around for that. He knows that Xron's got him beat in terms of the stack department. Also in terms of the weaponry, Raisy doesn't have a rocket yet. This is a risky situation to be in. 10 seconds left before the ghost walk. He is still gonna go for the item, but the combo from Xron, the beautiful rocket. That was a prediction rocket too. Perfectly placed to just completely kill Raisy's momentum of the bounce pad, and then the instant rail to finish it off. Really solid plays from the Ukrainian player, and the rockets are sublime as well. Just in time, just in time. Raisy would have lived through that one, but he would have been crippled. And he was in a really bad spot because he's so far away from any escape routes that he probably would not have been able to make it out with Xron just setting up comfortably.
No, yeah, he would have been in an absolutely dire position. Although, trying to go for a slower play there, he was hoping that maybe he could evade Xron for a few more seconds. Instead, Xron swings into action, looking like Spider-Man as he turns those corners. And he's doing an awful lot of damage. 3 frags over what Raisy has been able to establish here as we go into a 4-1 scoreline. And we're only 3 minutes into the game as well, so a lot of aggression between both of our combatants.
Xron, really solid start, and this is exactly what people mean when they say that he's got such raw skill, these rails, and then his LG in the previous engagement, perfect tracking on a champion as light as the Nyx, and there we go, rail after rail after rail. Can he make it and land the 4th one as well? Sneaky play from Raisy, setting himself up right there. He's low though, I think he's still railable, not anymore after picking that one up, but still. Heavy will be going towards Raisy, though Xron putting himself in a position trying to chase his opponent down, but he gave up footing towards the item right there.
You gotta give a shout out to that LG as well. The fact that he was moving so fast on this Athena, but was instantly able to land those shots and do a lot of damage instead. It will not matter. Raisy straight back into action. A crisp, clean rail connection does a lot of damage, and now forces us into this awkward firefight between the both of them. Raisy still punishing though, as he takes down Xron again, making it a 2 frag difference between them both.
Yeah, this is good for Raisy, starting to mount a bit of a comeback right there. Still 2 frags behind, but plenty of time left to work. You've just got to be careful for those angles, because when you're a small champion like that, a light champion without that big of a stack, those things hurt. Perfect play from Raisy. Xron could be in trouble right here. Doesn't have all the weapons yet either. Both players getting punished a fair bit right there. Raisy will be the one to just break away first. He's gonna head over towards the heavy, and look at that. Xron got next to no benefit out of that mega. It's already run back to the standard 100 threshold. So Raisy definitely made his way out on top. He got the better end of the deal with going for heavy instead.
Dancing around that pole. 1 rail left in his back pocket. He's going to need to stock up if he can. Luckily, he has worked his way over towards heavy, so he should be able to snatch away the heavy and then potentially replenish his rail. Xron has other ideas in mind. He's willing to take the firefight right now. He's only just realized as well, with the rail click coming across, this could spell an awkward few moments for Raisy. But luckily enough, he does make the jump.
That's a very quick rail. Excellent reaction from Raisy, popping the ghost off instantly. Here we go. Xron's getting punished badly for being in that position and taking the rail fight, but hang on. Pretty good retaliation right there. Xron, his aim is absolutely on point right now. This is a risk for Raisy, yeah. He shouldn't have taken that fight. I understand why he thought that he had the upper hand right there, but Xron, his aim is looking so good. And he also had quite a few small resources at that part of the map to get himself stacked up just a bit more. Next to no time between the major items, this could be an opportunity for Raisy to steal 1. Xron is in the lead in terms of frags, but it's Raisy who's got the better stack for the time being.
Fair bit of damage there, as he will get the connection. Darts his way back over towards the Mega. If he did go straight for it, it could have been actually quite an interesting fight between them both. Instead, he will concede it and give it to Raisy for the meantime and restocks his railgun ammunition. Now, Raisy is hot on his tail. He is close behind. And there's about 10 seconds between the major items. Xron sets himself up, looking down the long corridor back over towards the heavy.
This is going to be very difficult for Raisy. He's got 3 minutes left for 3 frags, but he's up against an Athena, the most mobile champion in the entire game. Raisy just really needs to be able to catch him by surprise and take a close quarters fight and do enough damage that Xron can't get out successfully. This is time for Raisy to push.
He doesn't realize the timing. He doesn't realize how long there is left on
Ouch. That was a big mistake from Xron. He had no idea about the timing and how he's caught in a bad situation. Raisy, can he land another one or just switch shot? He will indeed clean it up. And that's exactly what I said needed to be done. He needs to get up close and personal. Luckily for him, though, Xron made a huge mistake on the miss time. Setting up 11 seconds before the heavy was due to spawn. You can't afford those kind of mistakes at this level of play.
No.
That said, though, Xron's got a nice stack.
Well, not for long.
Not for that long, but he's still 1 point in the lead with 2 minutes left to go. Oh, he's caught in the bad corner, but the aim! The LG is so much better coming out of Xron, and he survives with 2 points of health. Just when Raisy manages to back him into a corner where he can't easily get out of using the hooks, Xron just whips out that kind of LG. Perfect.
That's ridiculous. One extra tag there.
Yeah.
Would have been able to take him down and put them both onto a 6-6 scoreline. Instead, it's 7-5, and Raisy even more pressure thrown back on him as he quickly leaps into scavenging all of the weapons and restocking his arsenal. Takes a rocket to the face as he turns the corner. The LG is out on display, but it's the railgun he needs to connect with. He is. Xron slowly falling to pieces here, forced to retreat. He can't get close enough to finish him with the LG, but it won't matter as the rail will punish him. Rips a hole straight through him. The major items are back up as well. They both spawned at the same time, and the heavy will be taken by Raisy. Mega should be Xron's, which it will. But where does it go from here, Flea? If he can find this frag, he can set himself up to, at the very least, push it to a sudden death.
That rail, that would have been the kill shot, the equalizer, tying things up at 7. Instead, Xron is given another chance at life. Raisy, he knows he doesn't have much time. Oh no, he can't take another rail. If he takes one more, he's just gonna go in. He's gonna aggro. No, that bubble isn't there. Xron took that one. You can't have it. You gotta go back. And now Raisy, 50 seconds left to work with. There we go. We're seeing that incredible speed and mobility come out. It's gonna come down to the final G fight. The rocket is solid coming out of Raisy, but he takes a rail in the back, I think. 30 seconds. Raisy cannot afford to sit on heavy for 10 seconds. He needs to apply more pressure. He needs to do more damage. But that rocket, that's gonna make him think twice. Oh, is it going to be a mistake having let Xron get away in that earlier engagement when he was solo? It's definitely looking the way.
Yeah, I mean, 15 seconds left. Sure, you've got Stack to fight with, but I don't think you're going to be given the opportunity to physically fight at any point here. 9 seconds, actually, this could be it. They do get contact between each other. 5 seconds, he has to go. He's got a charge, but he took a wrong turn, dipping down below. He won't be able to find him, and Xroni the Snowman will walk away as the victor on the opening map.
Yeah, Raisy thought that Xron dropped all the way down to the bottom, but Xron hang on to that middle ledge and managed to get out cleanly and safely. Good play from Xron. Yeah. And I like Raisy. I love Raisy. Love him a whole lot. But Xron, seeing him just like, you know, hang on the edge of relegation this entire time, he can do better. He should do better. I've talked to him at stage 2 in Poland, and I said, man, come on, you gotta step it up. You can step it up. And he said, and I basically quote literally, Stage 3 finals, I'm going to wreck people. That's what he said. He's going to be wrecking some people, and he's off to a very good start. So, Xron, keep it up, man. You're doing well.
Well, in his opening game here of Stage 3, he's gone against the runner-up from Katowice, and he has done an awful lot of damage. Picking up the first map win, however, there is still 2 more maps to go here. So if he wants to really make a point and put an exclamation mark on his opening week of Stage 3, there is a chance to do so if he wants to walk away with all of the points. But he's got to maintain what he's just displayed here. Aim-wise, combat skill-wise, he looked damn good. He was hitting some really lovely shots. The decision-making was on point. But you're up against Raisy, so no matter how good you are, you're still going to have to play your best over and over.
Oh, absolutely, and that is going to be a difficult and tall order into the next few maps, but this was already a pretty explosive one. Seeing 2 lights duke it out on Blood Covenant, not a sight you get to see every day. Here we go, look at the Raisy rails pushing in for these frags. This was such a beautiful rails right there.
Yeah.
Both of them played really well.
No, really, really clean stuff. It gave us an awful lot of exciting frags. Actually kept it relatively close over the course of the entire game as well. We were, you know, just neck and neck for a good majority of it on that initial map.
Yeah, it was just at the very end that Xron finally managed to just pull away a little bit and hang on to the lead until the very end, but really could have gone either way, it felt like.
Yeah, no, I think it could have, and that's a testament to Raisy as well, because no matter how good Xron's looking, Raisy, it always seems like even if you've got him on the back pedal, he just somehow leaps into it. You know, specifically what we had 2 minutes left, he goes in with a ghost walk to get from heavy to mega. Instantly, it was just like, right, somehow he's snatched both major items and now put us back with a 1 kill difference between them both. Pure madness. Let's see if that will continue on as we descend into the madness that is Raisy versus Xron for the second time tonight.
Yeah, and this time around, it's taking place on Vale of Pnath. Raisy with the Galena. Are we going to see some innovative new totem placements come out of the Maestro player? Yeah, looks like it off the bat. Perfectly hidden right up there. Tiny little ledge is all Raisy needs to hide his totems. It's going to be interesting to see if Xron is ever going to find that one.
What? That's like losing the keys down the back of the sofa. You're just never going to find that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, come on, calm down. It's only been live for 40 seconds.
What a nice little flick. Xron's LG is looking good though.
Oh,
and a rail too. Well, I'm surprised Xron stayed and didn't jump out through a teleporter, but good damage. And I feel like even though Raisy is one of the best aimers in the business, Xron is kind of sticking it to him right now. Even in these situations where it feels like Raisy is starting off the better foot, Xron is often doing so much damage with the lightning gun in particular.
Yeah, I think he really hasn't had a chance to shine of just how bright of a star he really is in the Quake Pro League. And hopefully, over the course of this stage, he can do so, because he's a raw talent. Although this time around, he is just going to be raw meat, left lifeless on the ground, as Raisy will strike first and claim the opening kill.
That almost went wrong, though. Raisy rocket jumping away from Mega, thinking he had already picked it up, but he just missed it by an inch, and then he just flew out into the open with 60-something points of health. That's a risk. That's a risk. Xron could have capitalized off of that by at least stealing Mega or doing more with it. But still, Raisy is looking good. I wonder what he's going to do with his final totem. If he's going to hang on to it, if he's going to want to hide 2 out of 3, or what the deal is going to be. Xron backs up into the totem. Raisy misses the kill shot. This is bad for the Maestro player. Mega is still up there, though. I don't think Xron realizes how low he managed to get Raisy right there. Because any damage, a shotgun blast, even from a really far distance, that would have been enough to get himself the frag and equalize the score.
A really strong sneeze.
Yeah, pretty much.
Would have finished him.
Blown him right off the map on Molten.
Oh yeah. Ooh, this could get interesting. Both of them fighting fairly early over the control of the heavy, and Raisy, even when it looks like he's getting close towards his demise, he still fights on with full confidence, slays through Xron again, and now looks to try and continue. Oh, Xron with a Dire Orb entry. A rocket going to be connecting, doing a bit of splash damage as he drops back down, and he should finish him here with the LG, as he's going to be lighting this one up for the 3rd frag into the game.
I feel like Xron would have done a lot better. Oh! Off he goes! He also could have done a lot better not dying like that right there, but he would have done better if he had picked up Mega and then orbed, or orbed and then picked up Mega and then teleported, because now he just kind of pushed in with the major item right next to him, and it has given Raisy so much. A 4-frag lead, nice little bounce into the rail there too. Raisy looking like he's starting to rev up the engine, getting more and more into it. Xron, can he respond in kind? Can he answer violence with violence and do the same amount of damage that Raisy's been dishing out?
Oh, wow, okay. Playing around that portal like a bit of a madman right now as he's bouncing back and forth. Xron's incredibly low and he could go down if just a couple more shots connect. 2 HP and a railgun dream is all that Raisy required. My goodness, Flea.
And he took that fight at a really good opportunity too, timing-wise, because Mega was up right afterwards, Small Armor's up, and Xron just has nothing to work with. And now Raisy is making that super shotgun sing time and time again. Xron unable to really do anything.
I think Raisy's a little bit annoyed he dropped a map.
Might as well be, might very well be. Hang on, where did that one go?
Where did that go? Did that clip into the top and stay on the ledge, on the top lip?
I think it actually, he messed up. It died.
Did it die? Did it go over the edge?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It just instantly disappeared.
What was he trying to do with that?
Very uncharacteristically Raisy right there. Maybe he tried to just lob it on top of the little doorway, I don't know.
Maybe. That's interesting. I wonder if we'll see that again at some point. Well, 5 to -1. It's looking pretty darn good for Raisy right now, as Ron's on, what, 2 HP, and a super shotgun slug will deal with that.
Yeah, really good use of the shotgun. Raisy just, whenever he realizes that Xron is getting close to being low. There we go. That one works.
So it does. It clips into the top of the ledge.
It looks like it, yeah.
That's
Interestingly
interesting.
enough. But every single time Raisy... Oh wait, it actually dropped down. Did it just land? Does he have like a perfect setup to lob it all the way down to where the actual teleporter is? Because it kind of looks like it. I think that's it. Because if you look at where it is, it's down. It's way down out of the map. So
maybe there's a lineup where.
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really. I mean, that's vintage Raisy, isn't it?
I mean, we've seen that kind of stuff in other games, but I've never seen anything like that in Quake.
Oh yeah. That is pretty wild.
But still, though, 8 frags of a deficit for Xron. He's got half a map to work with. He needs to make some miracles happen. And that's not the kind of miracles we're looking for. It's a miraculous shot, yes, but from the wrong player from Xron's perspective. Raisy. Oh no, this could be bad. Xron, I didn't have an LG, so unable to punish it as heavily as he normally would have.
How is he still alive?
Raisy hanging on far longer than he had any right to, as Xron putting himself back out of the negatives. At least it's a start, right? All great journeys start with a single step, but there's a lot of steps to be taken and not a lot of time to do it. Look at that LG. This is looking good for Xron, managing to survive. Not comfortably, but, you know, survival is survival.
You know what's really interesting here is I do wonder, actually, if we could potentially see Xron win a close fight with very low stack, try and go for a depth-defying jump towards the teleporter, and just get owned.
I was thinking the exact same thing, but I think it might be a bit too much to ask for. Hang on, though, Xron.
This could be it.
That's 3 frags in a minute if he keeps up the pace. If he keeps this up, he absolutely still have a shot at winning this map and just securing a 2-0 win already.
Oh yeah, this could be it. This could be his opportunity back into the game. If he carries on playing like this, there's definitely a chance, but he needs to keep up that tempo. That's the most important part, right? Is he physically doesn't have much time to dilly-dally. He's got to keep fighting and go quite aggressive here.
And Raisy has just switched to playing a really defensive game. I love that Xron is looking for the totems. Checking the corners. Raisy's up there. Just picks up Meg up. This is bad for Xron. Outstacked right now, Raisy. Is he gonna want to push aggressively? I don't think so. That is not Raisy's style. He's just gonna try and get another rotation going on the major items. All while he knows the time is in his favor. The clock is his ally. And it's one that Xron can't beat unless he starts fragging right now.
Yeah, he really needs to begin to punish. He's not even given any opportunities. He can't find him. He can't look for a way to start to punish. Oh, wow. That's going to leave a bit of a dent as he goes straight through and gets all of his stack ripped completely off. Lucky to be alive.
Good rail. Landed a rail, falling down. That might have changed Raisy's mind about pushing in for the frag right there. But he's gonna need so much more than these offhand rails. Come on, Xron, take a jump through the teleporter. Everyone wants to see what's up with that totem. And Raisy's being so slippery right now. And every moment that Xron has to wait for a Mega or a Heavy, Raisy is just winning. That's all he has to do.
Looking for the opener. That's a nice way to initiate. Tries to take him down, but he's gone up the bounce pad, and he has gotten miles away. Already, Raisy has retreated into a position where he can finally survive.
Oh,
Xron.
The messed up rocket jump at the very end there, too. That's not gonna do anyone any favors except for Raisy, but I love that one. That's a good rocket and a good steal. Here we go. He should be able to find the frag here, but that LG, what? That was unreal lightning gun accuracy from Raisy right there.
Raisy is just completely ridiculous. He is just so damn good at Quake.
Yeah, you can say that. Still want to see him go for his hidden totem.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I
With my
really
own
do
two
want to
peepers.
see it. Absolutely. Come on, Raisy. You're pretty low. The totem's gonna boost you nicely back up with that overstack.
You can see it teasing us through the X-ray, just slightly out of bounds.
And that other one up there. Look, did Xron just look at it? I feel like Xron was looking up.
Oh,
Yep,
he
yep.
spotted it.
He's like, I know I'm gonna die, but I'm still gonna
Oh, he's
take down
showing
your
him.
totem. Yeah.
He's showing him where it is.
So nice of Raisy, and Xron will call the GG. That's some very gentlemanly behavior right
Yeah.
there at the end. A lot of mutual respect between these players.
Where's that totem live? Just there, mate.
Former teammates too.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know,
Maestro Xron back in the day.
he's got to pay tribute by displaying the location
Yeah.
of the Raisy totems.
Absolutely.
Probably the most creative Galena we have in the scene.
Well, I mean, we mentioned at the start, right? Raisy, he's the kind of person to just jump into a map and practice. No matter how long it takes, he's going to find these little things, not just with Galena, but we've also seen him take some very interesting hiding places, as the one you mentioned toward the start on Molten Falls, but also on Corrupted Keep with the Doomslayer underneath the small armor next to the nail gun. So, Raisy, he knows those things. Here we go. I love that that's included in the replay.
Yeah, that was nice. Good little display of some of the sneaky tips and tricks that Raisy has on these maps. Some of the shots he was landing as well were absolutely spectacular. Just really quite disgusting stuff was being distributed over the course of this game.
Yep. That was an important fight. With the rails right there. I was going to call it out, but we had moved too far on already afterwards. But Xron was in a really bad position. I love how Raisy sidestepped that rocket at the end there too. Yeah, that was a painful one. Xron not too happy about being sent off the map into the green hellish acid depths of the map that is Vale of Pnath. Still, Xron did manage to mount a pretty sizable comeback, I feel like, right? Coming off of a 1 or -1 deficit right there.
Yeah, yeah.
He managed to put in some work. He absolutely did. Unfortunately for him, it didn't quite pan out the way he was hoping to, but could have gone a lot worse than that. So hopefully he doesn't lose too much of his momentum by map 3.
Well, it's still not a bad spot to be in. You know, at this point, it's a 1-1 series, so one of you is now going to take the win overall. That's still big. It's not as if this has been a 2-0 and it's just like, all right, I'm just trying to deny points. He still is in with a chance to get the majority of points from this, and it would be a big amount as well. From someone that was obviously in relegation at the end of Stage 1, at the end of Stage 2, rather, you're going to really want to try and put yourself in the best possible position you can be in straight from the get-go. So confidence should still be there. The mentality shouldn't be broken.
This is a pretty strong showing from Xron, right? Just as you mentioned, he was so close to relegation. I mean, he faced relegation, but he managed to stay in by knocking Buckster back into the Challenger League. But clearly, he's still got a lot of fight left in him to take a map off of Raisy and still putting up a fight like this third and final map. As you said, I hope Xron can just keep that momentum going, doesn't lose himself, and keep that composure. He's a veteran of the scene, so hopefully he'll be able to do that.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to hold on to his mentality. Let's see, though, as we don't have to speculate. Instead, we can spectate as we are ready to kick this one off. Xron versus Raisy as we get into it. Our third and final map. It is on Awoken as well, so you know this one's going to slap.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And instantly, 2 good rails into the shotgun. I'm loving how Raisy is consistently using the super shotgun to finish off his frags. Every single time he realizes that Xron is low, he doesn't want to take a risk to let his opponent get away. He doesn't want to allow him to maybe do some damage back towards him by missing a railgun. So he just switches to that super shotgun and he mercilessly just finishes it off.
I feel like today we have seen the most use of the super shotgun across the board.
Oh, nice. Good rockets from Xron. Raisy, too risky on the peeker right there. And now there's a really nice delay between the 2 major items. Xron just has to be careful not to get rocketed too much right here. 18 points of health, and Raisy manages to live. Looking really healthy right now with heavy to his name. 1 frag leads for Raisy. It's extremely important for Xron that he doesn't let this get out of control too quickly. He's so early. He's so early. 7 seconds. He came closer in the end, but 7 seconds too early for Mega. I don't know why he was just lollygagging around there.
It's not a good spot to be in at all. So exposed, and it just really doesn't do much for you. Raisy taking an awful lot of damage, though. Actually bringing him down to like 30 HP. Busts out the Pika, but won't find anything with it. Not going to use the... not be too effective as a scouting tool there. Wow, okay. He's actually really lucky to be alive.
Yep. Just barely hanging on to that one with around 10 health remaining. Raisy gonna play a little bit of a careful game right now. He knows that one rail will spell the end. Prawn has a huge stack advantage right now, and Raisy's trying to keep track of his opponent. Knows that Heavy is up. Kron is delaying Heavy, looking for an angle. Solid play from Raisy, knowing exactly where Kron would be waiting for him and denying him an angle to land the rail. LG into rail, that's so good. Before Kron can even switch weapons and retaliate, Raisy knocked off like 120 points of damage instantly, and that secured him the Mega.
Ooh, this is a depth-defying fight. As Raisy launches him with a Pika. If he can find him, it could work out so well. Gets him incredibly low. Ooh, he goes back towards him as well, so it doesn't take much. A little bit of tickling with a lightning gun to put him to bed.
My goodness, he just danced that Pika around Kron. Just took he took the scenic route. He was like, I can go straight for you, but I'm just gonna go back around and get you from another angle altogether. And now Mega, can Raisy make a move on it? Looks like he will surrender it to Kron. Kron actually still continuing to push, leaving the Mega up. Very clever play, but these rails, Kron doesn't have a railgun, doesn't have anything that can challenge Raisy at this long of a distance. Oh, with 4 points of health, the flick from Raisy, setting him at the 5 frag mark. Kron, though, instantly hyper-aggressive. Raisy trying to get out. It was a mistake from Raisy to go for Heavy. Maybe he didn't have exact timing. Maybe he was a little bit too confident in Kron's inability to make it there on time, but now Kron is looking solid. Again, leaving up Mega. Risky is gonna pay off. Nice rockets. Raisy might be in trouble, and indeed he goes down. The Ukrainian handler looking nice and solid.
Stopwatch.
Xron should be able to catch him here. Although his stack is low, and Raisy's begin to replenish. The rockets do so much damage, boot him up on towards the ledge as well, but Raisy still lands on his feet and carries on to get another frag under his belt. 6-3, so there's a 3 frag difference in his favor.
Well, that was a well-timed fight by Raisy too, knowing that the Mega was up or about to be up as soon as that one ended. Here we go, he knows Kron doesn't have an effective weapon of taking down the Pika, and so he just goes for the kamikaze. Pop, that's a good amount of damage too, missing the little flick there though. Kron not looking particularly healthy and will be outstacked massively if Raisy manages to secure the Mega. Some Tribolt, can he do even any damage? Doesn't look like.
4 minutes and 30 have passed here on the third and final map between these two, and right now Raisy is definitely looking like he is dominant, but can he maintain this for the next half of the game? That will be the important question. We know Xron can definitely come back in strong. He just has to find an opening, an opportunity to begin to chip away at this big build that Raisy is starting to create for himself. Turret goes down, will be destroyed. LG comes out just as the Mega gets snatched away. That's a good rocket though, Flea. This could actually open it up for Xron.
Kron definitely has the better positioning right now. He's got a small stack advantage as Raisy is just stalking the outskirts of the map. The Tribolt, perfect. That looked like a full 100+ damage coming out right there. Raisy now 9 points of health. Kron, you gotta chase this. You gotta make it happen. But the movement speed, the crouch slide, so fast. Raisy still in a bad spot. Kron, what can you do? Problem with Kron. Oh, okay, not a problem at all apparently if you can land those shots. But what I was going to say is that the problem with Kron's character is that he doesn't have any mobility. But you don't need mobility when that is the kind of stuff that you can consistently pull off. Kron, is he warming up still? Is he still not peaking yet? This is a risky situation to be in. Yeah. Clever approach to that fight as well from Raisy. Not dropping down straight, but just sticking as close to the wall as possible. And then going from there. Oh no. No, Xron. Okay, at least he gets the Mega. But that's the risk of leaving the items. Wow. Okay.
That was sick. That was actually such a nice rail.
That just shut me up right then and there.
Yeah.
Just stunned me.
That was beautiful.
What I was going to say, though, is that it is such a risk for Xron to always leave the items up. Mega was there. He decided not to pick it up, but just go straight for the middle area first. But that almost came back to bite him. Can Raisy find the rail? Both players screamingly low, but Mega, the gentle embrace of the Mega health, will top Raisy right back up. Xron, kinda healthy. Doesn't have any major items to his name. No, it's 10 seconds before the heavy. Xron's gonna set up above. Takes the high ground, but that's such a risky jump. Okay. Xron is taking a lot of major risks, but his aim is just carrying him through it.
Yeah.
This is like the third fight that he's won that he probably shouldn't have, but he just whips out a beautiful rail at the very end, and it works out for him after all.
It's just been so nice for him. Oh, the aim has been smooth. As Raisy again with the LG gracefully makes his move and punishes as he will take Xron down. 9-6 Raisy. He is hungering for a 2-1 win. And this could be how he secures it. Rocket's going down. Beautiful connection straight to the chest. He gets stuck on the pole. He jumped into the pole.
Xron definitely not out for the count just yet. He's got 2 minutes to work with for 2 frags. It is so important that he just doesn't throw himself at his opponent. He's got time. Don't ruin this one, Xron. Go and get yourself nicely stacked up again. Be careful, man. Be careful. Beaker almost knocking him off the map, and the follow-up rail will clean it up. This just got so much harder for Xron, especially if he might lose out on the heavy here.
That railgun might as well be a shotgun for Raisy.
It always is, isn't it? He just pulls off some amazing things with that weapon.
Ooh! My goodness! In this absolute race for the Mega!
Okay.
Raisy tried to launch himself in. Instead, Xron got it. There's still a minute and 30 left to play with. Raisy does have the better stack, but Xron, now is your opportunity to find your way back into the game. If he can find a frag here, but I don't know. I don't know.
Raisy set up a perfect trap. That's all there is to it. He was just waiting. Xron didn't even have rockets.
No.
Came around the corner. All he had was a railgun and the LG. And then you come around the corner with rail that close of a distance to your opponent. Yeah, you're basically done for instantly. And now Raisy, a minute left. Xron, he needs a miracle. And it's going to be difficult to catch an opponent, a champion that's so much faster and more mobile than you are.
There was an opportunity, but it feels like now it's going to be so hard pushed. Yeah. In 50 seconds, for Xron to get back in and somehow snatch this one away, it would be a sheer miracle. Raisy, all he's got to do is escape, constantly run and try and burn down that timing. That is the smart play to make. We're nearing that 30 seconds mark. Fires off a warning rocket, nearly does enough damage just with a rail alone as he'll begin to punish. Drops in and he wants the 12th just for the style points. That is it. It is done. Raisy is going to win the series.
That's one of the things that I love about Raisy. He can play a hyper defensive game, but then he can just switch it around like that and just be as aggro and as aggressive and as right up in your face as literally anyone in the entire Quake Pro League. And he just balances these two things so nicely. Like at the end right there, he realized that he still had the opportunity. And right now he's hands off keyboard, just standing over at heavy in that tiny little crevice right there, as he doesn't even need to move an inch anymore. Xron put in a very admirable effort, rather.
Yeah.
But Raisy just proved to be too strong for him this time around.
He put the shift in, he was trying to bring it back, and he definitely looked like there was so many times where he was that close to actually being able to really start to get back into the swing of things and potentially make it his game to lose. Unfortunately, he did lose in the end. He wasn't able to break through that wall.
Raisy just, you know, he slowed the game down when he needed to, and that's what won him the map at the very end. As Xron was mounting his comeback, Raisy just picked his fight so carefully, set up so many nice, perfect traps, that whenever Xron, like, finally got into the groove, he just comes through a teleporter. Oh, direct rocket to the face. Okay, well, there we go. Raisy's back in control. And he played that to perfection without Xron really being able to find an answer for it.
Unfortunate stuff there for Xron. Overall, though, still a good showing. I feel like you've got to give credit to him in that series. He did do a good job. Very, very close matchups the whole way through.
Absolutely.
Raisy, though, he looked reinvigorated. As soon as we got onto the second map, it almost seemed like he was just back to full strength. His power level had returned.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these players, I think, are looking really good coming into Stage 3. Xron going up against one of the absolute top players in EU and still landing shots like that. All winning a map against Raisy, that's quite the achievement. And obviously Raisy himself, you know, taking home the series 2-1. Brilliantly done by him. Just overall a really good showing from both of these players. It reassures me going into the rest of Stage 3 that Xron is still packing this much of a punch.
Yeah.
He's not gonna sit down at the bottom of the scoreboard thinking, you know, this is where I'm gonna be. No, this man is gonna fight to make his way up the ranks.
Yeah, after LAN and after this is his opening game, there is absolutely a chance. Obviously, this is one of your harder opponents throughout the entire of the European region that you're going to face off, and you did it in week 1. That's probably going to be a good sign that who he faces from here forward are going to have an equally hard matchup. By no means, you know, should you be sleeping on Xron.
And he managed to secure himself at least 8 points by winning that one map,
Yeah.
right? So that's of course very welcome, especially in the earlier stages of Stage 3, where of course the points are going to be a lot closer to each other still, because the new ranking system has only just been implemented.
Yeah, it's a good way to start off this season. Stage 3. Definitely looking like it could be a whole new style of Xron coming out, because he went out swinging there. It's just the fact, we can't say that present enough. One map off Raisy is incredibly impactful, so it does bode well for the rest of his run. And as you said, he wants to wreck face next lap, so he needs to make it there. Needs to make it there with a good seed as well.
And I mean, the better he does right now, of course, the standings in the leaderboards are what determines your seed, and it can make such a huge difference if you don't even have to play in the first round, as we saw in Stage 2, but you immediately get boosted into the second round and are given a good opponent to start with as well. So that could really help Xron out.
Oh, it definitely could. Although, we'll have to see. Obviously, there is still 9 more weeks of competition, but there is only one more game to go tonight. We have our final free mapper coming up. This is going to be the culmination of week 1 of the Stage 3 kickoff, which we'll be looking into as a little teaser before we move on to that, as obviously our last series of the Nightly. I believe Rafa taking on his opponent in... Who is Rafa facing off against?
Rafa is going up against Effortless.
There you go. Ah, absolutely effortless.
Absolutely effortless, the one and only.
Yeah, it will be incredible stuff. That will be coming up after the break, though. So get ready for that one. Of course, if you're a fan of Rafa or Team Liquid, you will want to be here. He dominated in Poland, didn't drop a single map, and took another trophy, and finally got his name on that belt. Who are you facing off versus Effortless? A man that always is about jokes and smiles, but is no joke when it comes to his Quake fragging power. We'll find out how that game's going to go after the break.